What's happening, troops? Welcome back to a new video here on the SharpDiv YouTube channel. If you are new around here, please consider subscribing. And in this video today, we are going to go through why Rangers are playing so well right now. Specifically looking at the 90 minutes that just passed there versus Aberdeen, in which they came out 4-0 victors. You might notice behind me that there is a little bit of a change to the background because there's extra stickers. That would be because I purchased these bad boys. Check out this doubler as well that we got. Lorenzo Amoruso, Claudia Reina. And I will say, we're looking for a new home for Mr. John Barnes if anybody wants him. Now, up until the last video as well, we were in tier 3, we're now in tier 4, which is an absolute bummer. So if you're a wee bit bored and you're looking for something to do, why not go check out some of the episodes of the best Scottish football podcast, Nae First Touch. It's a lie. Who put this in the script? But all joking aside, since I've been away, I launched a blog. So if you are interested in reading rather than visually watching and listening, then head over there, the link will be in the description. That will coincide with every single SharpDiv YouTube video. There will be a written piece of content to go along with that over on the blog. There has been a lot of talk about Rangers and Celtic, about how Rangers are doing so well at the moment and Celtic are not. Celtic seem not to have a balanced 11, a consistent formation, and all in all, at the moment, probably their biggest downfall is the fact that they're conceding too much goals. Rangers, on the other hand, you know exactly what you're going to get. Steven Gerrard and the coaching staff been drumming it into this group of players for going on 3 years now about what they want out of each and every single one of them within the squad as well. You know exactly how Rangers are going to line up like they did versus Aberdeen just then. It's going to be a 4-3-3. Now, the only difference will be the personnel. It's what approach Rangers will take to the game. And in this, they went for an attacking lineup. I watched the game back on Monday to completely take the emotion out of my perspective, and what was evident right from the get-go was the rotation of the Rangers players. In the first 5 minutes, Ryan Jack got on the ball, and the first thing that he did was look up and see if there was a runner. And if you've been watching Rangers this season, you've seen that the striker, in this case Alfredo Morelos, will drop deep, which will allow Ryan Kent or the other winger to go in behind. And straight away in the first minute, Ryan Jack is looking for that, Ryan Kent is running in behind, the ball goes over the top, and it's just a wee bit too heavy. But of course we did mention the rotation, and not but a minute later, Ryan Kent, who started in the left, is now in the right. Connor Goldson steps out with the ball, which of course will commit a midfielder or a striker to come to him and kind of break their shape a little bit, and he passes it out to Ryan Kent now in the right. So with Aberdeen, if you've watched them, they will play a man marking kind of style, and when your players are constantly rotating, constantly confusing them, constantly running different phases of plays, eventually you're going to break them down. And that's just a prime example. Ryan Kent getting the ball in the right hand side. Ryan Kent was on the left, he was on the right. Well, now he's through the middle, and this is still in the first 3 minutes. Tav gets the ball on the right hand side, cuts in, fires a ball to Ryan Kent, who's through 1-on-1, and he should score. It's a good stop from Joe Lewis. Another prime example of the Rangers rotation came in about the 7th minute, and it's a clip actually that I put out onto my Twitter account. If you've not followed us, go over there and get a wee follow, and you'll be able to check out the exact rotation in there. But to summarise, Arfield comes deep, gets the ball off of Goldson, drives to try and commit them, the exact same thing as Goldson did previously to draw them out their shape. When he passes the ball on, he continues his run and becomes a part of the front three, which allows Ryan Kent to drop in, get on the ball, and of course we'll get on to what happens when they let him do that. Just the movement was unbelievable, and Arfield crafts a chance for Joe Aribo, who should score. The first moment in the game where Aberdeen showed they could be a threat was when Ryan Jack turned the ball over in the middle of the park, and Ryan Hedges was able to spread his legs. And of course, if you've watched the game, spread his legs, that's a wee bit weird, but by that I mean sprinting, and he's got an abundance of pace. He was able to open up his legs, and again that was a sign of things to come. Probably the only way that Aberdeen would be able to attack Rangers and get opportunities. We're going to skate over a couple of things that I noticed about just the movements of our players real quickly, specifically Ryan Kent and Kemar Roofe. And we're going to talk a little bit about the criticism that Aberdeen got for standing off Ryan Kent for his goal. And I'm actually going to defend him in this specific circumstance. We've already spoke about the rotations. We've already spoke about this guy Ryan Kent getting on the ball at the left, right, through the middle. Aberdeen have came with a game plan. Of course it's to sit a little bit deeper. But when Rangers have been putting up here, there and everywhere. Their defence is decided. Subconsciously or consciously, we're going to need to take another step back. We're going to need to go 5 yards further back because Ryan Kent's getting in, Tav's having success, Roof's picking up areas, and that's just a normal thing in football when a team is absolutely peppering you. So in this circumstance, we need to give Rangers the credit rather than saying Aberdeen are just camping back. There's a reason why they're doing that, and it's because of Rangers' movement. And that brings us on to the goal then. In the 15th minute, Ryan Kent nutmegs the player and he smashes it in the net, and he had a deflection and he hit it sweetly and it's in the back of the net. And from that point on, Aberdeen now need to come out a bit. Now, everything we are speaking about today is the reason why Rangers are being so successful in every other game, because this is something that we're doing in those games. A notable change in the starting 11, of course, is Balogun coming back in, and there's a reason for that, of course. It's his pace. So you'll notice after the Rangers goal, and probably up until it as well, we were pressing Aberdeen very high. When Kennedy was getting the ball, Tav was right behind him, even in his own half, forcing him to come inside and try and go long. And if you go long, either Connor Golson's going to win it in the air, or if you try and get it in behind, Balogun is going to match you for pace. Just a few things that I noticed in the time period after the goal was Arfield kept dropping deep and he was trying to ping it out to Tav to no avail. Morelos was making plenty of offensive runs but just wasn't getting on the end of them. Let's get back to Hedges now for a little second. He was very impressive in the game, of course, and I believe he got a lot of his space due to the personnel that Rangers chose. Rangers obviously chose to go attacking, and that meant sometimes Aribo and Arfield were caught up high, Barisic was up high, and it gave him room to burst. And he'd done that on a number of occasions, from the period of the first goal to the second goal, which actually got Aberdeen a couple of chances. The final thing that I want to cover before we move on to the second goal is the criticisms that Alfredo Morelos has had in terms of giving the ball away. Alfredo, for me, is trying to adapt into a new style of play. Obviously all the rotation, he's having to come deep, he's having to go right, left, etc. Every time Rangers get the ball, they aren't necessarily now looking for him, so he's having to try and adapt his game, try and come short, and of course he needs to be better. In the Benfica game, he was incredible. His link-up play, his long passing, his short passing was unbelievable. In this game, he gave the ball away a few times, and you could tell that he was getting frustrated with himself. But there was also a number of times where he was incredible. However, of course, that's the things that you remember when they give the ball away. For me, we need to give him time on this. So moving on to the second goal, Kemar Roof gets it. It's the first time that they've really let Connor Golson get on the ball at the back. They're very deep at this point, I would say, trying to hit Rangers in the counter, because they've seen that Ryan Hedges can open up his legs and he can get after Rangers. They let Connor Golson step out with the ball, and again, this is something that Golson has been incredible at this season, the distribution. It's a ball over the top, it's a beautiful first touch from Kemar Roof, who slots it in for 2-0, and he's a player that is only getting better, showed a different facet to his game. To the Rangers fans, of course, if you watched him, a lot of people say he can play in the right, left, and stuff like that, he can actually link up play, but for Rangers it's probably the first time we've seen him in a right wing position and him being so effective. One player that it'd be easy to overlook within this first half is James Tavernier. I thought that his deliveries were absolutely exceptional, and also something he gets criticised for a lot is his defending, which was also exceptional against a really good player in Kennedy. So you go in at half time 2-0 up, you know that Derek McInnes is going to tell his players to try and come out and start fast, and Rangers need to do the exact same thing. It only takes one goal for a team to be back into the game, and that's something Rangers have been incredible at this season, just being switched on completely. And right for the get-go, Golson long pass leads to a break of the ball comes to Morelos, fires out to Arfield, whose shot is blocked, probably should do better. Soon after that, again, Rangers break through, Ryan Kent lays it back to Scott Arfield, who's brave enough to take on the shot and gets a goal. It's 3-0, game over, boom. Bob's your auntie, shiver, shit, bed, shave, the lot, whatever it is. And of course that man Tav again, he's getting on the ball, he's putting crosses into the box, just the whip that he gets on them is just a thing of beauty, just showing why he's the best right back in the country, why he's just improved so much this season. And what happens? Rangers get their goal through a penalty for Tav. Of course, in the first half, they should have got a penalty as well for a Roof, but we'll not talk about that. Oh my god. The captain steps up and he puts it in the net. It's his 6th penalty so far in the league, his 9th goal, his top goal scorer in the league as well, and it just shows you how good he's doing this season. At this point, you see Steve Davis warming up on the sides. You think, yeah, it's 4-0, he's going to bring off Aribo or Arfield. Nah. He brings off Ryan Jack, who was incredible in the match, of course, but the reason for that is we're just going to continue. We're going to continue, start peppering their goal and try and get more goals. And of course, when you make changes, it doesn't naturally click straight away. Another thing that I realised was from the captain, just telling everybody, come on, buck your ideas up, let's keep it going, let's try and get after them a wee bit more. Now, for the last 30 minutes, as you would expect when a lot of subs have been made, it was a little bit discombobulated. Is that a word? Yes? Okay. Rangers still fashioned out a hell of a lot of chances, but with it not being the starting 11, players having to try and come on, get to the speed of the game, probably didn't take the chances as best as they could. I thought Yanis Hadji, as soon as he came on, was really bright in the game, put in some delicious crosses, to be honest, with his left foot. One Tav headers back across goal, doesn't go in. He popped up in other moments, played nice passes through to Jermaine Defoe, had a couple shots that he probably should have did better with as well, but all in all, probably a positive performance when he came on. The big man Eaton came on and he had two glorious chances. The first one came in from a Tav corner, who else of course, and he should do better, needs to react quicker and it goes wide. The final one came in the final minutes of the game, where again it's a whip this time from Tav and it's a header 3 or 4 yards wide when he should be doing better. Of course, those are the chances that a big man needs to put away if he wants to try and get himself in the team. It was still a really positive performance, but the one thing you could probably say about everybody that came on and the 11 as a whole in that period was they were just passing it too much, weren't they? They were trying to do like 10 passes and then put it in the net like a training game. Let's give our man in the match, and this is something that I think is so pleasing. Sky gave it to Kemar Roof. Rangers TV, Stephen Smith, gave it to the captain, James Tav. The sponsor of the game gave it to Ryan Kent, and I'm going to give it to Arfield. Every single one of them were incredible. Everybody else in the pitch as well was really good. The only player you could probably say showed wee glimpses of trouble was Balogun. Maybe no on it today, let one go over his head and such. But overall, solid performance for the lads. Now that's going to do us for this video, getting stuck right in to some of the stuff that happened in that Rangers Aberdeen game and trying to highlight things as to why Rangers are doing so well at the moment, why other teams look like they are struggling big time when they come up against them, and hopefully that's a wee insight for you guys. It was certainly fun for myself, sitting down and watching the Aberdeen game, writing hundreds of notes and watching patterns of play, etc, etc. That was class. So if you've enjoyed this type of video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. There will be a podcast coming out very soon, along with plenty other content. I've been SharpDiv, you've been yourself, and I'm out.
All my weakness keep on